Midnight Drearies.
Bridget had always been fascinated with horror stories. As a teenager, she would spend hours reading creepypasta stories online, shivering with fear as she delved deeper into the world of the macabre. But as she got older, Bridget found that reading the stories wasn't enough. She needed to hear them, to feel the chill run down her spine as she listened to someone else tell them. That's when she discovered the world of YouTube creepypasta narrations. It was a whole new level of horror, with talented narrators bringing the stories to life in ways that Bridget never thought possible. For a while, it was all fun and games. Bridget would listen to a new story every night before bed, drifting off to sleep with the eerie tales still ringing in her ears. But then something changed. The stories started to get darker, more twisted. The narrators began exploring taboo subjects, pushing the boundaries of what was acceptable. And then there were the comments. Bridget had always known that the internet could be a nasty place, but the sheer volume of hate that was being spewed on these videos was overwhelming. The worst of the commenters were the 4chan ghost trolls. They were the ones who would leave dozens of comments on a single video, each one more hateful than the last. They reveled in the chaos that they caused, delighting in the misery of others. Bridget tried to ignore the trolls, but it was impossible. They were everywhere, lurking in the shadows of the internet, waiting to strike. As time went on, Bridget found that she couldn't sleep without listening to a new creepypasta story. She would stay up late into the night, scrolling through YouTube, searching for something to fill the void. The stories got more and more disturbing, until Bridget wasn't sure if what she was hearing was real or just a figment of her imagination. She started having nightmares, waking up in a cold sweat, convinced that something was watching her. And then the voices started. At first, it was just a whisper, a barely audible sound that Bridget could barely make out. But then it got louder, until she could hear it clearly, a sinister voice that seemed to be coming from inside her own head. It was then that Bridget realized the true danger of listening to too many creepypasta stories on YouTube. She had opened herself up to a world of darkness, a world that was slowly consuming her from the inside out. The 4chan ghost trolls continued to leave their comments, each one more vicious than the last. They didn't care about the damage that they were causing, or the lives that they were ruining. And Bridget was just one of their many victims. She had fallen down the rabbit hole of YouTube creepypasta stories, and now she couldn't get out. In the end, Bridget was consumed by the darkness. The voices in her head grew louder and louder, until they drowned out everything else. She stopped eating, stopped sleeping, stopped caring about anything at all. And then she was gone, just another casualty of the internet's dark side. The 4chan ghost trolls moved on to their next victim, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair.